Hey everyone, welcome back. So, we have finished round 3 of testing. I had 40 primers left. I've been buying these small rifle primers 100 at a time, and I had 40 left. So, I tested 40 rounds in 4 groups of 10. So I had charge weights from 18.5 grains, 18.6, 18.7, 18.8 of H335. So all my velocities are between 2000 and 2100 FPS, which is where I was finding my best results thus far. Here's the targets. Here's 18.5 grains, here's 18.6 grains, here's 18.7 grains, and here's 18.8 grains. As you can see, they are not very impressive targets. They're not that bad. For 25 yards, they're pretty bad. It comes out to like, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes of accuracy. It's not that good, but it's a good starting point for me. So because they're not that good, and I don't know, I'm not really confident looking at any one of those and saying that, oh, this is definitely the best one. They're all pretty much the same. I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say 18.6. So there's some issues here that I think are stopping me from getting accuracy that I want to hit. And I think I've been able to identify some of them from my research. So the number one problem right now is bullet hardness. Well, okay, the number one problem is I'm a terrible shot. The number two problem is bullet hardness. My bullets are too soft. So as you've seen in my posts probably, I've guessed that I was getting like 15 or 16 Bernal hardness. I think that was really optimistic in hindsight. So the proper procedure, if your alloy has antimony and arsenic in it, you can water quench. Basically, if you get it from a liquid down to a very cold temperature quickly, the crystal structures of the alloy are better. I don't know. I don't know that I understand all of the technical side of it. I just know that when you water quench, because it has antimony and arsenic in it, they will harden up. And then it takes about 2 weeks for them to reach like full hardness after doing the water quench. So that's why I waited 2 weeks. And if you're doing it properly, I just dropped them out of the mold hot into the water, and that works. A lot of people do that, but if you're going to be serious about it and you want really even and consistent hardness from shot to shot, it's better to do like a heat treat in the oven so they're all the exact same temperature when they get quenched. I haven't done that, but I think I'm going to. But anyways, so yeah, the proper procedure is get it from hot to really cold as fast as possible, and then give it 2 weeks to age harden. And with clip-on wheel weights, you can get up to like 30 Bernal hardness that way. So there's a few things messing me up on this. Number one, I'm not heat treating properly. I'm just water dropping from the mold. So the mold and the bullets in the mold could be different temperatures. Every 6 bullets could be a different temperature, so that's going to give you a different final hardness point. So I'm probably not consistent in how hard my bullets are. Two, I'm using a noob alloy. So when I first started using wheel weights, I didn't know that the stick-on ones and the clip-on ones like were different in composition, and so I just melted it all together. So I've got like 40 pounds or 50 pounds of ingots that are like some part clip-on to some part stick-on, and they're different from each other, I'm sure, because I was just tossing it all into one pot to melt together. So between these two things, I'm thinking the best I could possibly be getting by water dropping out of the mold is maybe something like 20 Bernal hardness. Which isn't necessarily bad. That's probably a pretty good Bernal hardness for what I'm going for. It's the inconsistency that's going to be hurting me, maybe more than anything else, just due to the varying ratios of clip-on wheel weights to stick-on wheel weights in my ingots. So most importantly, though, the biggest problem with my bullet hardness is I'm totally messing up my heat treating process by powder coating. So I kind of suspected this was the case, and then I was in denial for a while, hoping it wasn't the case, but it pretty much, I think, is the case. I have to stick these bullets in the oven for 400 degrees at 20 minutes. That's enough to anneal the lead, which completely undoes any benefit from heat treating. So whatever benefit I got from water dropping or from heat treating is totally gone as soon as I stick it in the oven for 20 minutes at 400 degrees, which means my bullets are probably just my base alloy hardness, toughness, whatever you want to call it. Which, given the fact that I'm using clip-on and stick-on wheel weights, I'm guessing all of my bullets so far have probably been something like 9 Bernal hardness. So that explains a lot, actually. The solution to this is pretty simple. I did a lot of reading about different ways to get a good cure on powder coat without like heating it up enough to anneal the bullets. I don't know that that's possible, to be honest. I might test that someday later. But I think for the time being, it's easier. I'm just going to go back to a traditional lube instead of powder coating. So that way I can harden my bullets, I can heat treat them and harden them, and then I don't have to heat them up again before I shoot them. So they're actually going to keep their hardness. I don't have to worry about accidentally annealing them. So I've collected a bunch of lube recipes, lots of them. And most of them I can make, and I think most of them will work for pan lubing because I don't have a lube sizer. But yeah, I'm going to try a bunch of different lubes, see what works best. And hopefully the harder bullets and the traditional lube will work better than powder coated, annealed, super soft 9 Bernal hardness bullets. And then I've heard lube might be more accurate than powder coat anyways. Something about powder coat is not as like smooth or consistent on like a microscopic level, so it's not as aerodynamic compared to like actual cast lead bare without a powder coat covering. I don't really know if that's true or not. I've read that it is, but I think I'm just going to switch to lube anyways, so I don't know. That might be an additional benefit. We'll see. Another possible problem. So I'm using a pretty light charge of H335. With jacketed bullets, you're using like 23-ish probably. I'm using like 18-ish. So H335, I guess, needs a certain chamber pressure to get a full and consistent burn. And I can't back this up with my data since I don't really know my chamber pressures. I'm just guessing, and I don't even really know where the cutoff is for the powder. But I kind of have this gut feeling I'm not hitting the level I need to get a consistent burn from shot to shot. So unfortunately, if I step up my charge, these bullets during the pressure spike when I fire it. So I think they're so soft that they would get deformed. And in fact, I think I might already be hitting chamber pressures high enough even with this light load to deform my bullets because they're just so soft. So a theoretical solution could be going to like a slower burning powder, H4895, and its slightly slower cousin, IMR 4895, probably good candidates, and I may try those out in the future at some point because I think they might be slightly better suited to shooting cast bullets through an AR-15 anyways. But I'm getting pretty good results with H335, and also I'm a cheap wad, and H335 is like $3 or $4 cheaper per pound than those other ones. So I'm going to do whatever I can to stick with H335 because I like it. It also meters really well, which I like about it. That's kind of nice. If it becomes totally obvious that I cannot hit 2 minutes of accuracy with this powder at all, then I guess I'll switch. But luckily, I think once I get my bullets harder, I should be able to step up the load and not deform my bullets quite so bad, and also get a more consistent burn. So hardening the bullets better is kind of like the number one thing that I need to do because that's what's holding me back more than anything else, both directly and indirectly. So, oh yeah, and I guess Dacron filler can help get a better consistent burn if you're not getting a very good case fill because it's a light load. If you guys have watched my other videos, you know that I didn't have super good luck with Dacron filler when I tried it last, but there were so many other things that were probably messing me up during those tests for accuracy that I don't think I can really pin it on the Dacron. So I am going to try Dacron fillers again if it starts looking like a good option. So I might do that again. So to recap, my accuracy was okay-ish, not anything to write home about, but there's definitely some things I can do to make it better. And foremost among them, I need harder bullets. So there's a few tools I would love to get to help me kind of get this dialed in. One is a lead test of some sort. So Lee makes one for $60. There's a few other options that are even a little more expensive. I don't have $60 to spend on that right now. I just had a kid. So luckily, the idea behind a lead test is like apply some amount of force to it in a way that leaves a mark that you can measure. So I've done some reading. Apparently, if you can take a pure lead bullet and smash it like right against at the same time against the bullet you're trying to test, then you can measure how much deformation took place because the force being applied to them was the same. So you can measure basically the known quantity against the new bullet, and you can actually get a really good estimate for Bernal hardness. So I think I'm just going to be able to make a quick little jig that'll hold bullets in place so that the pressure is being applied evenly, and then I can just kind of squish them in my vise. I do have some pure lead that I can use, at least in small enough quantities that I can make a 223 bullet out of it to test with. So if I can figure out some way to just hold the bullets in place nicely while I squish them in the vise, I think I can get pretty good readings for my Bernal hardness numbers, and that should help. So I'll keep you updated if I get around to designing and building a jig like that, but I think I'm going to need to because everything so far has just been educated guesses for my hardness. 2, I would love to get a chronograph. So that's kind of an important tool for really serious load development. They started at like $80, so I don't know. I'm looking into some DIY options. Again, I don't think $80 is in the budget anytime real soon either. We'll see how it goes. But I'd love to get a chronograph at some point, because I think not only is that telling me, my actual velocity, so I don't just have to guesstimate. It's also, you can check like how consistent your velocity is between shots, which would allow me to infer how good my powder burn is doing and stuff like that. So it's a really useful tool for the obvious reasons and less obvious reasons. So my next test is going to be shooting some significantly harder bullets with probably an array of traditional lubes to try out against each other. I am having awesome success with the Smokes Clear powder coat in 9mm. I love how it looks. I love how easy it is to put on, and I love that I never get any leading with it. But so I still love powder coating. I just don't think powder coating is probably the best approach for this particular caliber and this cartridge. And for what I want out of this load. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I have not asked this in the past, but if you want, like and subscribe. I just found that I've been having so much fun making these videos that I decided to do some other mini series about casting and reloading in general. So I've got one going about 9mm. Basically what I'm saying is I super want to be a YouTube star so I can quit my job and just talk about bullets all day long. So like and subscribe so that I can reach my dreams. And now, in all seriousness note, if you're interested in following what I'm doing here, or if you want to see any of my other series or anything else that I ever do with reloading and casting in the future, feel free to like and subscribe. That would be great. That's it. I'm excited. Things are working out. I have progress. I had 40 loads that fired without any cycling problems whatsoever, and I'm excited about that. So I think I know where to go next, and I'm looking forward to the next round of tests.